Hello everyone and welcome back to my Days of Our Lives 21 YouTube channel. I hope you guys are having a wonderful day. Before we start, please hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. Last week with Lucas' help, Harris and Chad caught up with Clyde. Eventually suitable to retaliate Abigail, Chad was tempted to blow Clyde's hide down when Clyde claimed that Abigail was alive. Chad allowed Harris to take Clyde into guardianship. Coming up, determined to get his family out of the slammer, Rafe asks Clyde, "What do you know about Li Shin's murder?" Meanwhile, at the recently restored Horton house, Chad tells Julie that Clyde claims Abigail is alive. Julie prodigies if it's true, and if she could still be alive. However, where has she been? So, as the sham marriage between Maggie and Constantine demurred off, the plan to expose him kindly worked but took an unanticipated twist. Constantine, realizing the ploy was over, tried to pledge John again, but he held his gun on Constantine rather. As Maggie reviled at him, he dropped a Verity lemon. He sabotaged Victor's aeroplane and killed him. Coming up, we see what seems to be a flashback of Constantine prompting Victor to draft a new will at the interrupted marriage. Alex exclaims, "You boggled my father." Allowing snappily, Constantine takes Theresa hostage as gunfire is changed, and Steve is hit. Maggie seems to drop too, but maybe that's a red herring and it's a response to Constantine's reveal. Constantine tries to make a run for it. Xander confronts Constantine, who still has Theresa in the domain, and says, "You re-dealing with me now?" As he holds a gun on him. Constantine holds his to Theresa. Xander tells him talk. Constantine laughs as Alex is also there, and says to the heir-at-law, "Victor isn't your father." Commodity intriguing started passing on Days of Our Lives the last couple months. After sourcing two of its heritage characters, Holly and Tate, in resolving their medicine drama, the show progressed to introduce musketeers for each of them in Sophie and Aaron, and indeed gave Tate's confidant a family in Felicity. Also, Days of Our Lives made Holly, Tate, Sophia and Aaron all hot for each other, but, with the exception of Tate and Holly, not into the person who was into them. It introduced a hop with secret dates. Had Nicole prohibit Holly from going, Theresa and Brady swear to keep Tate from the girl he wanted. Gave us a High Academy set and also nothing. We were awaiting a big cotillion, well, big by current budget norms. Perhaps Theresa and Brady convoying Tate and Holly sneaking around, getting caught, everything blowing up, but rather it was all just dropped. Oh well, they've had other effects to deal with first, but it could still be on its way, you might be saying. Doink go on it. Because while they no way relatively bandied when Hop was, they did show us. Liz refocused that out on Twitter/X with a screen grab of the Salem High Junior and Senior prom bill declaring that it would be on June 5th. That was this once Wednesday. Though if we being honest, having Hop in the middle of the week seems a bit odd now. We all know that time doesn't pass the same in Salem as it does in the real world. How long did Mother's Day last again? But indeed, giving Days of Our Lives the benefit of the mistrustfulness, it seems like Hop may have come and gone. There's no citation of it or any of the teens at each in teasers for the coming week, and pushing it back any further than that would be kind of crazy. So yes, this may have been one of the first casualties of the Penn's strike ending. Hopefully, however, it isn't the end of the teens. It's been a while since Days of Our Lives has had enough for their own stories, and indeed longer since we've gotten to see them interact in Academy. Hop may have gotten buried under the returning jotting governance, but that doesn't mean the teen scene has to be. Once upon a time, the show wasn't just killing it with big teen events like The Last Blast Dance. They were setting up characters and couples that would pay off for decades to come. However, let's hope it was to give us commodity indeed bigger and better down the line if Hop was cancelled. Stormed into Melinda's office and demanded to talk with her. Melinda assumed J. wanted to rage about her taking his job, but he clarified that Sloan was the content of discussion. J. streamlined Melinda on Sloan's flight. He also informed Melinda that Nicole believed he was at the sanitarium, being treated for a concussion. Melinda continued to play dumb and asked what any of it had to do with her. Mused that since Sloan was gone, Melinda was the only remaining person besides him to know Jude's true maternity. Melinda still acted ignorant of what J. was saying, but ultimately gave up the act. J. made it clear that he'd discovered the entire verity. Melinda was angry because she allowed Sloan had betrayed their agreement. J. said it did not count how he'd set up out, and he wondered why Melinda had been willing to risk her career and her freedom for Sloan. Melinda acted offended. J. imputation that she was only out for particular gain. She claimed she had a heart and that she hadn't wanted to see her friends suffer. J. blasted Melinda for letting Nicole suffer and rebuffed Melinda's attempts to spin her conduct as a noble act of fellowship. Melinda reasoned that letting Jude be raised by his natural father had eased her conduct. J. again lashed out at Melinda for keeping Nicole down from Jude. Melinda shot back. J. was doing the same thing to Eric. She scouted J. as holier than thou act and reminded him that he'd been further than happy to let Nicole continue believing her child was dead until he'd spotted Eric and Nicole kissing. Melinda cast J's conduct as a hopeless attempt to keep Nicole from the man she truly loves. E.J. sniggered that Eric was a sanctimonious quacksalver who had always made Nicole feel empty. J. on the other hand, had accepted and loved Nicole as she was certain he and Nicole had been forged in fire, and that Jude would cement their relationship. Melinda flashed back having to give up her own child and abused J. for not allowing about Jude and the impact being taken down from his family would have on the boy. She also poked J. about the prospect of raising a child that would ultimately look and act like Eric, the man whom J. despised. EJ bristled but claimed that Jude would be raised as a Demera who would want for nothing. Melinda argued that Jude would be deprived of his identity, and that the child would be raised by a cold-hearted swine. J. corrected Melinda for her insincerity, as she had been willing to keep Jude from his mama. He advised Melinda that it would be in everyone's stylish interest if the Verity stayed retired. Melinda suspected as to whether an agreement with J. would include a lucre J. had done with Leo. After letting J. know she was apprehensive of J. fix to Leo, she assured J. that she formerly had sufficient provocation to keep quiet. Melinda also suggested that she might need a future favor, and a smiling J. promised her he'd happily oblige any favor. After J. left, Melinda propped her bases on the office. "It's good to be back," she said with a chortle. Eric entered the Demera manse and told Nicole that he could not find Sloane. Nicole cursed Sloane and called Rafe again. Rafe was shocked when Nicole filled him in on what had happened with Sloane. The idea that Sloane could have gotten the better of J. bewildered Rafe. Nicole agreed but stressed that they should prioritize chancing the fugitive. Latterly, Nicole sat with Eric and denounced Sloane's whimwamps in awaiting Nicole's remission. Eric asserted to Nicole that Sloane would be penalized and that Sloane had formerly lost everything that signified to her. Nicole refused to feel pity for Sloane or for her better Melinda. Eric and Nicole hoped that Rafe had formerly arrested Thed. Neither could imagine what Melinda could have conceivably gained from the deception. Nicole participated how satisfying and cathartic it had felt when she had eventually gotten the occasion to defy Sloane. But Nicole also knew that Eric's passions were probably more complicated, since he'd loved Sloane. Eric teared up and wondered if his relationship with Sloane had ever been real. As Eric and Nicole watched over a napping Jude, Nicole said the boy hadn't been sleeping well. Eric suggested taking Jude out in the stroller. Nicole thanked Eric and was open to anything additional Eric could tell her to make the transition easier for Jude. Eric mentioned giving Nicole the birth instrument, so that she could begin the process of changing Jude's name. Nicole had been allowing of keeping the name because she liked it and because Jude was used to it.